All right, guys, this is the Tenways Ago X mid-drive commuter style bike. And Tenways reached out to me and asked me to do a review on this bike, comparing it to the Aventon Level 3. I happen to have that bike, so I said, why not? Let's do a comparison. Let's park this one right here and go snag the Level 3. And there it is, the Aventon Level 3. We're going to compare these two bikes, but first I want to take the Tenways Ago X into the garage and go over all the details on this so you guys can have a complete overview of what this bike has to offer before we do the comparison. Now on this comparison, I plan on testing these two bikes to see which one will hit 20 miles an hour first, because this is a Class 1 e-bike and this is a Class 2, but has the capability of being a Class 3. Now, also, I plan on doing a brake test. Both of these have name brand brakes, but one of them isn't quite what you would think, and I'll go over that here in just a little bit. The next thing up is going to be a hill climb challenge. We're going to see who can climb the 19% grade the fastest, with me putting out as much effort as possible. All right, guys, let's go inside the garage and show you guys what the Ago X is all about, and then we'll get outside and do the challenges between these two bikes. Let's take a look at the Tenways Ago X. This is what I would call a premium commuter style bike. This comes with a very impressive Bafang mid-drive motor. This is the M410. And that's one of the things that's going to set this apart from the Aventon bike. The Aventon bike has a rear hub motor. However, both systems are running on 36 volts, so I think it's a pretty fair comparison. Now, the M410 motor by Bafang can produce 80 Newton meters of torque, giving you a top speed of 20 miles an hour in pedal assist. Now, this is a Class 1 e-bike, so you're only going to get pedal assist. There is no throttle on the Ago X. So if you're a throttle junkie, this might not be the bike for you, but if you're a commuter that wants to also get a little bit of exercise while you're on your way to work or to the store, the Ago X seems to be a really good option. Now, another key highlight of the Ago X is going to be the drivetrain. They went with a 10-speed Shimano Q setup, which is one of the newer setups from Shimano, and it offers a thumb and trigger shifter, which is by far my favorite style of shifting. It really takes me back to mountain biking and the style and feel of these particular shifters. I really like the Q setup. Now, this Q setup actually has a rear derailleur with a clutch built in. If you're not familiar with a rear derailleur with a clutch, basically all that is it's going to basically add tension to the rear derailleur, preventing your chain from slapping the actual frame of the bike and causing damage. It also significantly makes your bike more quiet going down the road, especially if you're going down, say, gravel roads or just bumpy asphalt roads in the middle of the city. Now, you are going to have 10 gears to choose from back here, all the way down to an 11 tooth, all the way up to a 48 tooth. So this thing can climb some major hills and hit some really nice high speeds. Now, not only do you get Shimano Qs with the drivetrain, they equip this with Shimano hydraulic brakes. You're going to have the nice kind of MT200 style levers, along with the MT200 style calipers. These are going to be 2-piston, both front and back. And then you're also going to get a 180 mil rotor up front. And then back here, you are going to get a 160 mil rotor. So you're going to have plenty of stopping power on a bike that is actually relatively light feeling compared to other e-bikes. Now, looking back here, you do get this nice rear rack that can hold pannier bags and all of the stuff that you would want to tote to work or maybe to the grocery store. It mounts really nicely, customly into the frame right here with a couple of bolts. They did supply this nice bungee strap on mine so I can hold things down. You do get some really nice metal fenders, and then you do get a rear taillight back here. Now, the battery does remove down here. This is a 14 amp hour, 36 volt battery, relatively lightweight. You can charge this on or off the bike. Super easy to remove. You don't even need to reposition the front tire or anything, and it just locks right into place. Now, this will remove with the keys that are supplied, and the keys are only used to remove the battery, not to actually activate the bike. Now, this does come on a nice 700C style rim. So you're getting a nice big rim that's just more traditional to, say, road bikes or hybrid style bikes. You're not going to get these small 26-inch rims that you'll see on some other brands. Now, along with all of the controls that we already mentioned, from the drivetrain to the brakes, you are going to get these nice foam lock-on grips. The foam lock-on grips are some of my favorite because these really absorb any vibration and they're just super comfortable. And with foam grips, you don't really need to wear gloves to have good grip. They're just kind of grippy the entire time. They do supply a bell, which is nice. You have a super small compact control panel with a power button and a plus button. And you do get one of my favorite style of screens. We've seen this on other bikes that basically is very, very minimal, and it's tucked behind the handlebars. So in case you do ever get into an accident, having the screen tucked back here makes it less susceptible to actually getting damaged, but you're gonna get this step over design. Let's talk about what this thing is like. I'm 5'11", this is a size large. I can fit on a size large or a size medium. And if I'm completely honest with you, now that I know how this fits, at 5'11" with a 32-inch inseam, I would go with a medium. Now, one thing that's really unique about Tenways is that they have a built-in light. This is kind of a signature thing with all the Tenway bikes that I have actually reviewed. They all have these nice built-in lights right into the frame. You never have to worry about forgetting your light or having it mounted somewhere on the bike. It's just built right in. The other thing is that this comes with an SR Suntour XCM32 front fork. Most brands do not put name brand forks on their bike, but Tenways did. Again, their approach is going with premium quality products. We see that through the Shimano setups that we've got on here, and now we see it through the SR Suntour front fork. The front fork does have a quick release, along with the back of the bike having a quick release. This bike is fully loaded. Full retail is $2,499, but I looked as of this morning and this bike is going for right around $1,899. So $1,899 for a mid-drive bike of this caliber is actually kind of bonkers. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go outside. Let's do the comparison test between the Aventon Level 3, and then we'll come back in and we'll take a look at this menu under a deep dive of how this thing actually works. All right, let's go. Okay, now that we're back out here and we've learned a little bit more about the Ago X, let's go over some of the quick specs on the Aventon Level 3. That way you guys kind of know what this bike is up against. So the Aventon Level 3 is going to run 27.5 rims, so a little bit smaller rims than what we see on the Ago X. And also, this bike is going to have a 36-volt system, similar to what we see on the Ago X. However, this one does have a rear hub motor instead of a mid-drive motor. Now, also take note, this uses different brakes, name brand, but different. These are the Magura brakes, and they do stop really well. However, these do have plastic levers, where the Shimano levers are metal levers. And personally, I feel metal levers are a little bit more responsive in the feel. I'm not a big fan of how plastic feels whenever I'm going to brake, but the Magura brakes do seem to operate really well, and we're going to go test those here in just a minute. Now, a couple other things. This does have a removable battery. It does have a Zoom fork, which is a name brand, but a little bit lower end in this spec when it comes to name brand level, but definitely not the higher end SR Suntour that we're seeing on the Ago X. And you will also get a Shimano drivetrain, but this is going to be an 8-speed drivetrain, a lower tier level than the Qs that we see on the Ago X. So already the suspension and the drivetrain is a little bit higher end on the Ago X. And also one other thing, this is a class 3 bike as it sits right now. So it does have a throttle and it can reach speeds of upwards of 28 miles an hour, where the Ago X is a class 1 and can only reach speeds of 20 miles an hour with assistance. So let's go ahead, let's take these out and do the brake test, the speed test, and the hill climb test. So real quick, one of the things I want to mention about the pedal assist levels, they will all reach 20 miles an hour, but each one is going to give you a little bit more performance to get you there a little bit faster. So unlike some bikes where you're limited to how fast pedal assist 1 will go, pedal assist 1 will go all the way up to 20 miles an hour. It's just it won't get you there as fast or have as much torque as what pedal assist 5 will. I do have to say, the Ago X is an extremely smooth riding bike. This bike is really built around comfort of cruising on a commute. It feels like a natural, like non-e-bike, but with the power of an e-bike. This Bafang motor really does perform well. Okay, in order to do this 20-mile-an-hour test, and I've got it in pedal assist 5, and I'm gonna shift as needed, and we're gonna see how quick the Tenways Ago X can get to 20, and then we'll try out the level 3. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, and the power kicks in. There's 10 miles an hour, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That was fast. I did not think it was gonna get there that quick. I don't feel like we traveled more than 50 feet. That was pretty impressive at how fast that went. I'm not sure if the Aventon level 1, level 3 can actually go that quick. There was instant power thanks to the torque sensor built into the mid-drive motor. That is one of the big advantages of a torque sensor on a mid-drive motor, is you have that true connection with the motor, sensing that you're pedaling. Where with a rear hub motor, it has to do more calculations with the computer to figure out everything. But on this one with the mid-drive, the torque sensor is instant. It's super impressive. And that's why you see mid-drive motors on mountain bikes, is because you need that instant response. And with the Bafang M410 on the Ago X, you're getting instant response, and we just saw it there. I'll be real curious to see what those times are. All right, now let's check out the Aventon Level 3 and see how fast it can get to 20 miles an hour. Okay, here we are. We are gonna have this in boost mode because it's the highest setting, and I feel like that's fair overall. There is Eco, Sport, Turbo, and Boost on this bike, and it does have the rear hub motor, 36 volts. We're gonna go ahead and see how quickly this gets up to 20 miles an hour, and we are going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, go, go, go. 10, 12, 14, and 20. Wow, that was incredibly fast too. Let's compare the two. So both bikes are very, very fast. And both bikes have a different feel overall because one is a rear hub motor and the other is a mid-drive motor. The mid-drive motor feels like it's more natural. The rear hub motor feels more like an e-bike to me. Like, what I mean by that is you can kind of feel it pushing you. And as far as the torque sensor goes, the torque sensor on the mid-drive is way more responsive. You get less forward back motion. Whenever you ride a rear hub motor with a torque sensor, sometimes you feel that wow, wow, wow feeling. It's not super drastic on an Aventon, but you can slightly feel it. And this is just part of owning a rear hub motor. It's not a deal breaker, but it is something to take note. Torque sensors work better on mid-drive motors, and that's a fact. Okay guys, up next is the brake test. This is how I test all of my bikes. I've got some asphalt up here that has basically been changed to a different color because they repaved it. And I stop whenever it starts, and I see how quickly I can stop before it ends. And I have a feeling these Shimano brakes are gonna do absolutely awesome on this super light bike. But I'm gonna try to get up to 20 miles an hour before I get to that point, and then lay on the brakes and see how it goes. Okay, let's go ahead, let's give it a shot. All right, motor kicks in. All right, see if we can get to 20. There's 20, and brake. Ooh, that was the best performance I have seen out of any brakes that I have tested. I don't think the level 3 can beat that. That is a bike length faster than some of the other bikes that I've tested that I thought were performing really well. This bike is super lightweight, feels like a normal bike, and I think that's really helping it. These 36-volt systems, I'm a big believer in them, and the big thing is they weigh so much less than, say, a 48-volt system. Not everybody's on board with the 36-volt system, but I think they're coming a long ways, and these mid-drive motors are impressive. They're lightweight, and these tires gripped like nobody's business. Huge braking accomplishment here. I'm gonna get something to mark this on the ground so I know exactly where I stopped, and then we're gonna go get the level 3 and see how well it does. Let's put a wood chip right here. That is impressive. That is, let's see how many feet it actually stopped within of my feet. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 19, 20, 21. 21 of my feet? That's stinking impressive. All right, we've got that marked. We're gonna hope that that doesn't go away. If it does go away, we're about a foot from this crack right here, if you guys can see it. So about a foot. So hopefully that doesn't go away. We're gonna go get the level 3 and we're gonna test its brakes now. All right, we're in turbo. We're gonna get up to 20 miles an hour and see how well these Magura brakes actually do. And there's 20 and brakes. Okay, all right, a couple notes here on these brakes. Let me go ahead and put this kickstand down so I can talk to you guys. Couple of things. Obviously, we can see that this is where the front tire was on the Tenways. The back tire is officially slightly past it where it touches the asphalt. It's just right where it comes up. So the Aventon did not stop as fast. And I think some of that has to do with the weight of the bike. I don't know the exact weights of the bike, but I can tell you the Aventon does feel a little bit heavier, and that's pretty common with something that has a rear hub motor and a 20 amp battery. This battery is 6 amps bigger than the Tenways. The Tenways comes with a 14 amp. The Aventon comes with a 20 amp 36 volt motor or battery. Now, the other thing I want to take note on, these Magura brakes have plastic levers. And I'm going to be real honest with you. I like Magura products, but I do not care for these brakes. That is not confidence inspiring when you squeeze a plastic lever. And in my original level 3 review that I did over on my RunBikeMike channel, I even expressed that the plastic levers didn't quite feel the best. They're not terrible, but they're different feeling than any other lever that I have ever experienced. We see this, that the bikes did the 20 mile an hour test and we got the results from that. And now we're at the result of the brake test. The Aventon did not outperform the Tenways. The Tenways stomped it by almost an entire bike length. So take note of that whenever you're purchasing this. If having really good stopping power is something that's extremely important to you, the Tenways won that challenge by a long shot. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do the hill challenge. Okay guys, as you know, if you watched my reviews, this is the big hill. We're gonna test both bikes at the same time and see who gets to the top first. I'm gonna put a little bit extra pressure on these bikes whenever I'm going up this hill. I'm gonna give it a little bit more effort than what I typically do. I usually try to let the motor do everything, but I'm gonna give it a little bit extra oomph from me. Not much, but just a little bit to make it more realistic, as if you were riding up the hill trying to get to the top as quick as you can. We're gonna see which one will actually climb the hill the fastest. This is gonna be a real interesting test. Rear hub motor versus mid-drive motor. Let's go ahead and let's get this started. We're gonna start at level 5 pedal assist, and we are going to be in, looks like gear 8 is what I'm in right now to start off with. I'm gonna start climbing this hill. We're gonna start pedal assist with both of them this time. Since this bike has no throttle and the Aventon has throttle, I'm not gonna use the throttle on the Aventon. I want this to be a completely fair test across the board. Let's go ahead. Let's race both of these up the hill on 3, 2, 1, go. Get going, get going. All right, gear 8, which is the biggest gear that the Aventon has, or the highest numbered gear. We'll be able to downshift here. We're gonna see how well the downshifting does on this one. All right, Now, one thing, I only got up to about 16 miles an hour. We do have a crazy headwind. We're at 14 miles an hour, shifted twice. The nice thing about this Bafang motor is there is no cutoff switch. So it doesn't actually cut off whenever you shift like some other mid-drive motors. Got to use all 85 Newton meters of torque to get up to the hill here. We're at the 19% grade. We're at 10 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour, 8. This motor's working. It's working, guys. 8.4. 9, we're climbing back up. Can we make it to that telephone pole? There's the finish line. Go, go, go. Shift. Shift smooth. Whoa, okay. That was hard. Well, there you have it, guys. On the hill climb, the Aventon definitely won, and won by a good amount. The amount of power coming out of that motor was impressive. Now, this motor feels really, really strong, but that 19% grade is very hard for any bike. And I do have to say, going down these hills, these brakes work really well, and this bike feels really smooth. It feels a lot like a standard hybrid or commuter bike. Very lightweight, nimble feeling. The big tires and wheels really let it roll well. So there you have it, guys. Let's go back to the house and let's talk about the comparison between these two and go over some of the final things on the Tenways Ago X. Now, one last thing, no matter which bike I'm reviewing, if you guys want to look down in the description below, you may find a coupon code. Some companies give me coupon codes and some don't. And if you find one, you can utilize it and save yourself a little bit of money or whatever the coupon code is actually valued at. With that said, all my links are affiliated links, and it does help out this channel. The nice thing is when you use those links, it doesn't cost you anymore, but it does help out this channel. And for me personally, no matter which bike you buy, it doesn't matter to me. I don't want you to buy the bike that I'm necessarily reviewing if it's not right for you. If it is right for you, then that's the bike that I want you to buy. Okay, let's take a look at the display here. It's going to have your time listed up at the top. It looks like it's going to be in a standard 24-hour time or military time. And then also it's going to show you whether or not you are connected to Bluetooth, which is going to be through the app where you can actually track your rides, things like that. Then you're going to have this kind of like little power meter thing that displays kind of the power output. It's really faint to see right now, but that will light up whenever you go down the road. And then also you are going to get your speed right here. It's going to either be in miles per hour or kilometers per hour. You're going to have a nice battery gauge here with a percentage and a bar. Full is over here and empty is over here. Then you've got your assistance levels that you'll just click through with the control pad that is on the handlebars. Now, if we go into the menu system here, there's not a lot that you can actually do, but you hold down the plus and minus button. You can clear the trip. You can set the display units. You can change the brightness of the screen. You can set the auto power off. It's going to be defaulted in at 10 minutes. You can have the headlight be an auto headlight, so you never have to worry about it. It just turns on if it's dark enough out. And then the speed limit is locked. If you go into this, it looks like you're able to change it, but you can't. 32 kilometers per hour, which is about 20 miles an hour, is what it defaults to and what it's stuck at apparently. And then you can go in here and you can set a password. This will tell you which version of the software that you're on. And then you can go in here and you can set the date and time. There's also a QR code, so you can scan this to get access to the app, and then you can sync your bike up to it. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the app. Okay, taking a look at the app, it's pretty basic. This is more of a ride tracking app than it is going to be to allow you to do anything with the bike. The main screen here is going to give you a map of where you're at. You can start and stop an activity. It's also going to give you your odometer, so you'll know exactly how much you've actually traveled on this bike and some other stats like your average speed, your max speed, and your total duration that you've actually ridden this bike. Now, this will allow you to go in and take a look at your bike a little bit more in depth. There's not really much here other than the battery bar indicator, your estimated range that you can do. However, mine is reading 0 right now, even though I do have battery bars. Other than that, there's a little bit of info in here. I'm not really sure because it just lets you choose your color and also the size of the bike to change it on the display up here. Other than that, you don't get access to really do anything else in the app. So there you go. That's the Tenways Ago X, comparing it to the Aventon Level 3. Here are some other stats I'm going to display on the screen to show you some comparisons between the two models. Definitely the Tenways is a super nice bike, and at the price point of $1,899, it's definitely going to be one of the more low-priced mid-drive commuter bikes out on the market. I'm a big fan of mid-drive bikes, and I think Tenways did a really good job on this. Let me know in the comments below which bike you prefer, and also if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, I've got some links down below. If you guys are interested in more content, or you want my content a little bit earlier, or access to some of my other channels videos earlier, definitely go over and check out my Patreon page. But of course, if you guys don't want to do that, you could just simply subscribe to this channel, click the bell, and leave me a comment and hit that like button. All those things help push this video out into the algorithm. This is a small channel that I'm definitely trying to grow, and with your support, I know that we can get there. All right, guys, as always, get out there and ride your e-bike.